Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from actually freezing San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are fired up. Couldn't wait till 9 to do this. Dropped my son off at high school. Could not wait till 9 a.m. to do this video because I don't know how your morning is going to go this morning and whether or not this will be a great morning for you or a very rough morning for you. So let's just go with the theme of the day. Marriage. From tissues for your issues to tools and action so you can get some traction. From tissues for your issues to tools and action to get some traction. And why do I say tools and action to get some traction? Let's just dig into this morning. How many of you believe, as I say at my speaking events, that knowledge is power? Raise your hand, and everybody raises their hand, and I say, I used to think so too. But agree with me on this, that a young man could graduate from MIT with a PhD, be the valedictorian, and then go move into his mom and daddy's basement, afraid to get a job and play video games for the next 30 years, and his knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. It is only potentially activated when action is taken on that knowledge. Knowledge is not power. Action applied to that knowledge is the potential manifestation of the knowledge. So knowledge is just potential power. So Angela and I are extremely purposeful. This is the 24th year of marriage. For those of you who follow us, know we have 7 kids. 6 we're still raising in the house. 1 has moved out, has her own family. And we have above average opportunities to make excuses for how busy we are running the coaching program, running the real estate team. The #1 Keller Williams office in the world where I serve just broke 1,000 realtors. The #1 in the world, over $2 billion in written production last year. We busy, right? And then I joke with folks and say, well, we could use the excuse that we're busy. And we don't say we're busy, Angela and I. What we say is we're not busy at all. We're highly productive in relation to our priorities and our schedule. So it's not busyness, it's just an effective and efficient schedule. So tissues for your issues. Another thing that I share with people on a regular basis, wherever I am speaking, it is the same conversation. I say this: your marriage is in trouble right now. Your marriage is in trouble right now. I don't care who you are, I don't care who's in the room. Your marriage is in trouble right now. And then I get those looks. And I say, guys, if you think I'm kidding, just ask your wife. Not right here, not right now. And wives, if you don't think it is, that's probably because either you are lying, you are heavily medicated, or you have lowered your standards of what you believed your relationship could be when you said, I do, to that man that put the ring on your finger, and you have become comfortable tolerating and accepting being married singles in your home, living really no more than a roommate existence in agreement with managing the kids and the tasks. So your marriage is in trouble. The good news is there is hope for those relationships. The challenge is, think of your marriage as the average American. Think of your marriage as the average American. The average American is about 25 pounds overweight, okay? Think of your marriage that way. Every person you ask, for the most part, if you were to say, hey, let me ask you a question. Would you like to drop 20, 25 pounds, be in great shape, have an amazing diet, and feel energized all the time? I have not yet met one person that says, no, Steve, as a matter of fact, I like being 72 pounds overweight. I'm in shape, honey. Round is a shape. Don't you know that? A circle's a shape. I'm in shape. It's just round. And I love having knees what hurt and like feeling terrible. It's awesome. I've never met anybody who has said that. Everybody that you ask that question to, bar a few people, everybody who are already majorly fit would say, I would love to be in great shape, and I would love to have a lower body fat, and I would love to have a great diet and phenomenal energy. Of course I would love that, Steve. Okay, great. The difference between wanting that and beginning the activities and action and mindset and accountability to achieve that is the difference between night and day. Wanting something and being willing to put in the work for something is where the rubber meets the road in this life. And it is the same as marriage. Think of your marriage, the average marriage, as 25 pounds overweight, unhealthy, not doing the best, knees hurt going up the stairs, back hurts, really exhausted at the end of the day, okay? People get used to what they are familiar with, and they accept and tolerate what appears to be the norm. So when I say your marriage is in trouble, you might not say, I disagree with you. My marriage ain't in trouble. We ain't beating each other. We ain't cussing each other out. We ain't throwing each other out on the front porch. We ain't like Bud and Sissy and Urban Cowboy. Well, I'm excited, Uncle Buck, that your standard for a good marriage is you ain't beating each other or cussing each other out. Is it possible that it could be bigger and better than that? Is it possible that you could have that joy of when you were first dating? Is it possible that you could have that connection of when you were courting? Is it possible that you could have those long conversations and those evenings you stay up late and those joyful ideas about what you could do and be and have in the future? Is it possible that you could be just as excited 24 years after you've been married as you were when you were? I'm here to tell you, T.I. is. It is not only possible, it's just as possible as anybody losing weight and getting in shape. It's just going to take some work. It's going to take some work. So the question I have for you this morning is, if you could have that passionate, fulfilling marriage relationship, not perfect, that's crazy town. If you could have that passionate, fulfilling marriage relationship where you felt loved unconditionally, respected big time, listened to and understood at a deep level without judgment, with hope and excitement for the future and what it has to bring for you two, would you want that? Great. Most people do. Now my question to you, like the overweight brother, are you willing to put in the work to do what it takes to achieve that? Because it's available if you'll put in the work. It's available if you will put in the work. So moving from tissues for my issues to tools and action to gain some traction, I want you to think about something that my mentor Zig Ziglar said. He said, anything worth doing, and working on your marriage is worth doing. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can do it well. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can do it well. You see, if it was easy, everybody would have a great marriage. If it was easy, everybody would feel respected, loved, and understood. If it was easy, everybody would be honored. If it was easy, everybody would still be holding hands and have rainbows and unicorns and glitters flying around. It's simple, not easy. So if you are looking to move from tissues for your issues to some tools and action to get you some traction, the first commitment you have to make is the commitment to do the work. And the second commitment is to discover exactly what that work is so that you can move forward day by day by day with that hope. The reason that Angela and I attend marriage seminars a minimum of once a year, ideally twice a year, is the same reason you get the oil changed on your car. Because an ounce of prevention beats a pound of cure. And unless you take the time to slow down life and discover the tools that are available to you to assist with communication, and you begin to work through dialogues and conversation around issues you may have stuck deep down inside you that have caused a root of bitterness to manifest that maybe shows up as the silent treatment. You know, they say the number one way that ladies feel connected is communication with the man speaking, it releases oxytocin, this chemical that bonds people together, which is why they connect verbally. And the way that a man connects with a woman is sexually, because the oxytocin in a man is only released at the highest level of women when he is woo woo, you know, doing that thing at the very end of when y'all are doing that thing. And therefore, when a man and woman are mad at each other, the man will shut his mouth, no oxytocin for you, and the woman will shut her piernas, in Spanish, them are called legs, so no oxytocin is released there, and the bonding is gone. And they don't even think about that. The woman never thinks, you know what, if I deny him sex, he's not going to get to release that bonding agent of oxytocin, and he will feel separated from me. They're not thinking that. Guys are not thinking, you know, because oxytocin is released at a very high level and that's a bonding agent when we communicate, I believe I will not communicate with her. It's just something that we do. Not realizing that it shuts down the ability to bond and connect. So it manifests in many different ways, and you may have become familiar with that. Now, I'm going to do a quick little pause here. I don't know why my son's bus is late, but I'm about to say hello to him real quick. Y'all get to be here. Hey, Josh, how you doing, buddy? You good? Is the bus running late? Okay, did they say it was running late?
I don't know, but Mom, if it did, Mom didn't tell me.
Okay, love you, man. Have a blessed day. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. So when we look at what men and women do to make each other pay when we are hurt, it can become a pattern that is unhealthy. And this unhealthy pattern can create bitterness and resentment and separation. But see, you don't even know you're in trouble because y'all are still taking the kids to school. Y'all are still doing the laundry. You're still doing, you know, the kitchen stuff together. You're still planning little getaways and vacations. And every now and then you might get a little frisky in the bedroom every now and then. And yet you're living way below the line of privilege that has been provided for you, especially for those of you who are people of faith, living way below the line of what is available to you by way of a passionate, joyful, and exciting marriage. So what is my charge to you today? My charge to you today is get online, use your Google, and look up when the next marriage conference or marriage event is, and commit to do it, and be prepared that you do not get fixed in an event. I could go to the gym for 7 hours on Sunday. It's not the same as going an hour a day. I could go to the gym for 2-3 months and maybe not lose a whole lot of weight. And yet if I'm consistent with the actions and activities and the diet, I know I'm going to get there one day. So the same with your marriage. It's not a fix-it event. It's an opportunity. It's a catalyst for you to gain some new wisdom, knowledge, and insight, and develop some tools, get some understanding so that you can begin the path of moving towards that. Let me ask you this. Do you plan on being married still in 5 years? Well, guess what? 5 years from now, it's still going to be here, whether or not you choose to commit to learn and grow. 5 years is still going to be, it's still going to come. You're either going to be a little bit further apart, a little bit colder in your hearts, or you're going to have the pleasure and the benefit of having put the time and attention on your relationship that it deserves, quite frankly. Think about your hobbies and interests. How much time and effort and energy and finances do you invest in those interests, or maybe in learning more about your job and your work? When was the last time you made a decision to become a student of your spouse? When was the last time that you made a decision to dig into learning more about them? Do you know that I've been married 24 times, y'all? This is my 24th year to be married with Angela. She was 20 when we got married. Okay, I was 25. Let me tell you something. Every year we became different people. Every one of our 7 children that we had created something different in us. I'm married to a different woman today than I did last year and the year before and the year before. We're constantly growing and changing. Do you desire to have a greater relationship? Do you still have that hope and seed of faith in you that you could have something magnificent that you believed was possible when you first said I do? Well, I'm here to tell you it's possible. Not only is it possible, you are entitled to that if you are willing to do the work. Do you want to move from tissues to your issues? Then get some tools and take some action so that you can get some traction, ladies and gentlemen. And trust me on this, when you put the time into it, there's a promise in the book of Proverbs 14:23 that says this: all hard work leads to a profit. You cannot put in the hard work and not get the benefit. You cannot sow and sow and sow without reaping what's going to come about. You just have to have the faith to believe that the good Lord wants you to have a fulfilling relationship in one another, pretty much manifesting what his love is like. I love you. I respect you. I honor you regardless of how I feel, and I'm committed to living sacrificially and manifesting that, knowing that love is a decision, it's not a feeling. Trust is a choice, it's not a feeling. And I choose to take the risk again as we work together to become all he created us to be. Ladies and gentlemen, take the time, do the work, because the time in your marriage is going to pass anyway. You might as well be moving towards something beautiful. Have a great day, guys.